Good afternoon on what is a bright, sunny and warm day. It is Tuesday the 22nd of March. I'm back in the Nook with a parcel I've already opened, but there are several things in it, so let's find out what else is in here. And the next thing I'm going to pull out is Flott's Miscellany Volume 1. This is the pamphlet edition by Thaddeus Flott, Imaginary Alchemist. It is, let's have a look. I can't want to read that, but it's got a little logo on the back. Whether you can read that, because I can't. Let's find out. Let's see if we can get this open. Okay. Sticky, but okay, here we go. So this is from Superhero Necromancer, this is, let me see, Thaddeus Flott, Imaginary Alchemist. Welcome friend, I am Thaddeus Flott, Alchemist and Operatic Tanner, and this is my town. By now you've seen the good Master Hardabad's so-called visitor's guide to our great city. It's a fine work, for now what it represents rather poorly the wonder that I see in every detail of our home. So I have put together for you this miscellany. Learn it well as I have, for you may one day earn a reputation as one of the more charming bores at any middling class social engagement. The first and most fundamental step, of course, is to know a great deal about everything, but not too much about anything. The next is compulsively tell anyone you meet the many things you know. The final step is to be charming. I can give you the first, you probably have the second, well in hand. The third is easy. With this guide at hand, you're ready to retain everyone in the room with myriad trivialities about our city. Go forth and entertain. So this is a city guide of a different nature. So, you know, you have tables in here, how's the weather? And elements such as folk killed in a recent silver mine collapse, active fusses I have known, common surnames of the active fusses of the inner swells, encounters along the Thatcher Road, penny lightfalls and other popular street pamphlets, brollies used instead of hats by the undiscerning, a list of Beauregard Hardabad. So this is sort of like a little bit bonkers, I think, a little bit absurd. Magical resonances, the 5 components of sorcery, the 4 sacraments of necromancy, the 7 processes of alchemy. So this is sort of like feeling sort of like you wandered into this without almost any contact or context. But we have a list of petty magical grimoires for theft or sale. So you could take this and apply this to any fantasy setting you would want, I suppose. More gangs of the cities. And it's not particularly specific, sort of like as in genre. I mean, that kind of suggests a fantasy setting of a kind, as does that. But the image of Thaddeus, so a pudding hand on the hunt does, whereas Thaddeus Flott, Imaginary Alchemist, sort of suggests a more modern kind of rainy city. So you have this strange sort of like meeting of sort of like genres or time periods, if you will. So we have more guilds of the city, notable legal covens of the city. In a city with no discernible government, the business of contracts, mercantile and otherwise, is administered by the legal covens of the barrister court in Old Town, and enforced through pacts with devils, fairies, ghosts, and other myriad spirits of the unseen. Break a contract and suffer the prescribed demonic remedies. Although independent operators abound, there is only one legal coven in a given neighbourhood, always keeping the same name titles and always adhering to the rule of 3. Yes, so you've got more witches of the city. So this is definitely something I'm going to have to go and dig out about, and find out about more before I get into it. But we have a wizard tower in one's end, Tower Cliffs, and John the Homunculus, a wizard of Tower Cliffs. So we have the various NPCs that you might run into, that the referee might want to develop. Rickety in the Swells, the Worm's Man, Scarper Plume, a gull. So Rickety in the Swells and the Worm's Man. At Scarper Plume, a gull. At Witches Hunting Imps and Sprites. And then people on the street, pirate folk drinking the day away, stuffed skippers for of the plank. Famous pirate captains are stuffed and displayed in skipped and plank. Here are a few, their manners of demise, how well they've been stuffed and what they should want should they possess you, and what they can give you in return for a ride. So Amity 2, disemboweled, surprisingly well stuffed, rides to recruit a crew for her ghost ship, gives eternal life of a kind. Or comely Ed Starley, terror of a vagabond bay, drank a surfeit of poteen, well stuffed, rides to drink, teaches how to outmaneuver the Admiralty. And then random goods found on plundered ships and pirate captains Fowlin and a villainous lot. So this is just sort of like a writer's assembly of things in the Windy City or the Rainy City, wherever that is, what that is, and you can just sort of like drop this almost onto your own city and just build in the oddness, whether that's meeting the people on the street, such as Admiral Guitar, Auctioneer, Bagel. How is the mermaid getting around during the rainy season? Lounging in style on a very fancy palanquin, traversing wide avenues in a ute-drawn hackney coach, zigzagging through the crowds in a human-powered two-wheeled hackney carriage. You've got Peers of the Fish Market Way, Sir Abadir Alderman, Earl of Fish Market Way, Dame Frances Gower, Viscountess of Brinning Lane. Almost you don't need a map for this. You can just go with it. If this is an imaginary setting, it is just, just a space which you can almost a liminal space which you can play through. And then, and here we have a strange combat, strange fracas in the rainy city. I keep wanting to say Windy City. People on the street, folk browsing the old town bazaar, the quite curious shops of East Chip, and again, it's just these are elements here which you just go, okay, what do you need to go and do? Well, you go there. For example, and you go to the alchemist. So you go to Botus Best, a strong menthol mitt infused with drinking alcohol, sure to keep the lungs and throat clear when going out on a foggy evening. May or may not ward off ghosts. So you might want something from there. Or you've got Antediluvian Wizards of the Grand Academy, or the Fellow Folk on the Ferry Boat. Rumours heard whilst at the Diving Club. Random treasures found while diving the academy. Just weird, wonderful, inventive stuff. It just keeps coming at you. More cults of Levittown. Just this fantastic inventiveness. Things like what service does the worm require? The toenail of a witch cut within 9 hours, or the midst financier virtual wrath will be entombed in the catacombs this very afternoon. Embrace her at the last rites before then. Bring me that embrace. How do you do that? It doesn't matter. I think just sort of like it's just something that you can throw at the at your players. Some folk making due, Novellus the Noble, Anton Gorgrothan, or Mad Dog Constantina. So yeah, this is just quite fantastically inventive. Lots of people on the street, who is duelling in the public square, Celia the Reaper versus Sir Grackle Goodnight, proxies for Omer Belkins Jr. and Oakley Tarlingame, over the right, proper and similarly true technique for furnish fabrication. Select shops of the Mids Promenade, Ilsover's Iced Cemetery or Creamery, Cause Cutlery, Festoon House Pub. People on the street again overheard at an embassy dinner. I heard from Madame Babineau, who got it straight from Madame Wickham, that they keep a pudding in the cellar, to help clean up any mess. at more embassies of note. Like the House Hink, the oldest house on the row, an embassy of only women, led by the macabre Letitia, the sorrowful Lenora, and the goody Lucretia Hink. Stable in all things, the house was never moved up or down the row. Fantastic, like indication of sort of like you have this idea that houses now can move up and down the road just with a single sentence. Again, the headlands. How to learn the secrets of the cell keys. Yeah, this is just a riotous assembly of just things you can bring into play that the different places, what you encounter there. So Tower Cliffs, where is that apprentice rushing off to famous spells, famous wizards, self-proclaimed, or weird wizard towers. And then we have Sandestines of yore. So Sandestine suggests sort of like an opposite influence there, perhaps of the dying earth. So you could easily just take those and drop those into sort of almost a weird dying earth style city. If you wanted to, would work really well, I would imagine, in a Dungeon Crawl Classics campaign, especially if you're doing something sort of like in a dying earth style setting. And then we have the place, the thing, a complaint overheard amidst the revelry in the engine room, and here we have just sort of like almost like a well-to-do beholder. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, so that's 40 odd pages of weirdness and whimsy and the weird that you can just throw at your players for a city setting. I'm going to go and investigate to find out what this actual setting is, because I don't know. I just have these, I bought these, they look interesting. But yeah, thoroughly impressed by this. It's actually sort of like fantastic and wonderful, full of ideas. So that's Flott's Miscellany Volume 1 from, let's see who it is again, from Superhero Necromancer. But yeah, that's fantastic. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing. If you have, then please click on the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a parcel and a book or game, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, then please hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, we've got a nice hot cup of tea, and I will be back again with another unboxing in the Nook soon. Bye for now.